Have you ever wondered why something that once felt harmless now leaves you feeling drained, foggy, or even anxious the next day? I'm talking about masturbation. Yes, that private habit nobody likes to discuss, especially after 50. Here's the truth most men don't realize. The same habit that once gave you a quick release might now be quietly wrecking your hormones, your sleep, and your drive. You might think, I'm healthy, it's natural, it's fine. But what if I told you that after 50, your body responds to sexual stimulation completely differently than it did in your 20s or 30s? Studies show that frequent solo release, especially late at night or done mindlessly with screens, can actually lower testosterone, weaken pelvic muscles, and disrupt dopamine cycles, the very same systems that fuel your energy, motivation, and erections. And here's the scary part. Most men blame aging, not realizing they're sabotaging their own vitality with habits that worked against them quietly over time. If you've ever felt your morning wood disappear, your focus fade, or your confidence dip without explanation, this video will change how you think about sexual health forever. Because today, I'm revealing the worst masturbation mistakes men over 50 make, and what to do instead to reclaim your drive, power, and confidence. For many men over 50, it starts quietly. You notice your energy isn't the same. Mornings feel heavy. Your focus slips halfway through the day. You tell yourself it's just age, but deep down, something feels off. You still have desires, but the satisfaction doesn't feel as strong, or it's followed by guilt and exhaustion. Maybe you've caught yourself staying up late, scrolling for stimulation, only to wake up drained and unfocused. Then the doubts creep in. Why do I feel so tired? Why can't I perform like before? Why do I feel less like myself? It's not just about sex, it's about confidence. It's about the quiet frustration of not feeling in control of your own body. You start to avoid intimacy, avoid eye contact, avoid the mirror. And yet, this is something almost no one talks about. Most men suffer in silence, believing it's just part of getting older. But it's not. The truth is, your body is signaling something, and once you understand why, you can take back your vitality naturally. I'm Dr. Rachel Rubin, a board certified urologist and sexual medicine specialist. Over the past decade, I've helped thousands of men restore their vitality, not through gimmicks or prescriptions they don't need, but by understanding how the male body truly works. In my practice, I see men every single day who struggle with low energy, weaker erections, and declining drive. And when we trace it back, the cause isn't always hormones or aging. It's often hidden habits that quietly drain testosterone and disrupt balance. My mission is to break the silence around men's health, to help you understand what's really happening inside your body and how small, science backed changes can completely transform how you feel in your energy, confidence, and performance. So let's start by uncovering what's really going on. Here's what most men don't realize: your body's relationship with pleasure changes dramatically after 50. The same release that once relaxed you can now actually deplete vital hormones and neurotransmitters that keep you strong, focused, and confident. But here's the good news: you can reverse it. There's a simple shift in how, when, and why you engage in solo release that can completely reprogram your body's response. It's not about giving it up, and it's definitely not about shame. It's about learning to work with your biology, not against it. Because when you make this one key change, your energy returns, your mood steadies, your morning erections come back stronger, and that quiet confidence, the one you thought was lost, starts to rebuild from the inside out. I'll show you exactly how this happens and what one daily practice can do to reset your dopamine and testosterone rhythm, the natural engine of male vitality. It's something you can start tonight. No supplements, no strange rituals, just one adjustment to your nightly routine that rewires your brain and body connection. And when you understand the science behind it, you'll see why this habit could be the single most powerful thing you do for your energy and performance after 50. Let's start with what's really happening inside your body when you masturbate, especially as you age. When you reach orgasm, your brain floods with chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, and prolactin. Dopamine gives you pleasure and motivation, oxytocin gives you connection and calm, and prolactin helps signal that the act is complete. It's a beautifully coordinated system, but after 50, that balance shifts dramatically. As testosterone begins to naturally decline with age, your body's ability to recover from these hormonal swings slows down. What this means is that frequent stimulation, especially with artificial triggers like pornography, can lead to longer recovery windows, where your dopamine and testosterone stay low for hours or even days. When you were 25, your system rebounded quickly. But at 55, that same late night session can leave you foggy, tired, and unmotivated the next day, not because you did anything wrong, but because your body simply doesn't reset as fast. The dopamine trap, here's where things get tricky. Every time you watch stimulating visual content, your brain releases a spike of dopamine. It's that rush of anticipation, the reward chemical that keeps you coming back. But over time, your dopamine receptors become less sensitive. This means you need more stimulation to feel the same pleasure. It's not just psychological, it's neurochemical. When dopamine levels stay chronically elevated, your brain compensates by downregulating those receptors. And when that happens, not only do you lose interest in real intimacy, but you also lose motivation in other areas work, exercise, even simple daily goals. This constant cycle of stimulation and depletion leads to what researchers call dopamine fatigue. It's the reason so many men describe feeling apathetic, distracted, or even mildly depressed, yet can't quite pinpoint why. Testosterone and recovery. Now let's connect this to testosterone, your body's main vitality hormone. Testosterone production is influenced by your brain's hypothalamic pituitary gonadal (HPG) axis, a feedback loop that depends heavily on signals from dopamine and prolactin. After orgasm, prolactin levels spike and temporarily suppress testosterone production. That's normal. But when the frequency is high, that suppression can linger. Think of it like pressing a pause button on your body's engine over and over again without giving it enough time to reset. This is why men who overindulge in solo release, and especially at night right before sleep, often experience lower morning testosterone and weaker erections. Your body's natural rhythm depends on recovery time, and when that's constantly interrupted, your hormones never fully recharge. Sleep quality also plays a major role here. Testosterone is produced during deep sleep, particularly in the REM cycles. But if you're stimulating your nervous system right before bed, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone, which can suppress both REM sleep and testosterone synthesis. So the cycle continues: late night stimulation, cortisol spike, poor sleep, lower testosterone, less energy, and drive the next day. The blood flow factor. Let's also talk about something physical: blood flow. Erections are all about nitric oxide, a molecule that helps your blood vessels expand. When your testosterone is balanced and your pelvic muscles are strong, nitric oxide flows easily, creating healthy, natural erections. But when you overstimulate, especially sitting in awkward positions or using tight pelvic muscles during solo activity, you can actually weaken the muscles that support proper blood flow. Over time, this can cause less sensitivity, slower arousal, and difficulty maintaining firmness. Some men even develop tension or chronic tightness in the pelvic floor, which mimics the symptoms of erectile dysfunction, yet the root cause is mechanical and entirely reversible: the mind body disconnect. There's another layer to this, the psychological one. When your body becomes conditioned to rapid, screen driven stimulation, it learns to associate arousal with novelty and intensity, not connection. This rewires the neural pathways between your brain's pleasure centers and your physical response. In other words, your brain gets trained for stimulation without intimacy. So even if you want to be intimate with your partner, your body doesn't respond as easily. It's not because you don't desire them, it's because your reward system has been hijacked by digital overload. And when that happens, performance anxiety sets in. You begin to anticipate failure, which triggers the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight mode. Blood flow moves away from the genitals, and your body literally shuts down arousal to protect itself. It's a cruel feedback loop. The more you worry, the less you perform. The less you perform, the more you worry. Reclaiming control, the biological reset. The good news? Your body is incredibly adaptive. Research shows that with even just 7 to 21 days of reduced stimulation, dopamine receptor sensitivity begins to rebound. Your natural testosterone rhythm stabilizes, sleep improves, energy returns. This period is often called a dopamine reset, and it's one of the most powerful tools men can use to restore their vitality. When you allow your brain and body to rest, you reestablish what's known as homeostasis, your internal balance. Suddenly, the same things that used to feel dull, conversation, exercise, touch, start to feel rewarding again. You begin to crave real connection instead of pixels. You start waking up with natural energy, stronger erections, and a clearer mind. The role of mindful stimulation. This isn't about never masturbating again, it's about doing it consciously. When done intentionally, without screens, without rushing, and in sync with your body's rhythms, self pleasure can actually enhance testosterone and emotional well being. The difference lies in awareness. When you focus on sensation instead of fantasy, on breathing instead of tension, your body releases oxytocin and endorphins, the same hormones that strengthen bonds and lower stress. This form of mindful stimulation can even improve pelvic blood flow and help retrain your brain's arousal pathways. So it's not the act itself that's harmful, it's the pattern of overuse, overstimulation, and disconnection. Putting it all together, when you understand this balance, dopamine, testosterone, sleep, and blood flow, everything starts to make sense. The fatigue, the loss of drive, the weaker erections, they're not just signs of aging, they're signals from your body asking you to slow down, reconnect, and reset. And the beautiful thing is, once you make that shift, your body responds almost immediately. Within a week, most men report deeper sleep. Within 2, better focus and mood. Within 3, a noticeable improvement in sexual performance and confidence. Because your body isn't broken, it's just waiting for you to give it what it needs to thrive again. When you understand how your system truly works, you realize the power to feel young, energized, and confident again was never lost. It was simply buried under habits that no longer serve you. And that's what we'll fix next. Try this reset for just 7 days. Cut back on overstimulation, focus on quality sleep, and bring awareness to your body instead of screens. Watch how your energy, focus, and confidence begin to return. Then come back and tell me your results in the comments below. Your experience could inspire another man to take back control of his health too. And if you found this valuable, don't stop here. Watch my next video on how to naturally boost testosterone without supplements. Stay strong, stay informed, and take control of your health.